Hey Bears fans, the countdown to 30,000 subscribers is well underway. We are less than 400 subs from the big 30K milestone. Thanks to all of you who have already subscribed. If you haven't yet, I encourage you to do so because we'll continue to bring you the latest Chicago Bears news and rumors. I didn't even think I was going to do a video today because I've got a busy day here at Chat Sports, but there's a lot of stuff going on, including Doug Pederson conspiracy rumors. That and more coming up right now. Welcome into the show. I am your host, Harrison Graham. As always, you can follow me on Twitter at HGrahamNFL. We'll get into some injury stuff, some Nick Foles' latest rumblings later on in the show. But we got to get into the man of the hour, Doug Pederson, hanging out at Bears training camp today. And the man was even wearing a Bears pullover. So the speculation, the Bears Twitter, it's running rampant. I've got guys in the office, speculating what this can mean. So I was like, all right, you've convinced me. We'll do a video. We'll talk about it. Couple of things here. Peterson and Matt Nagy go back. They were on the same staff under Andy Reid with the Kansas City Chiefs several years ago. So there's a relationship built there. Now, what's Doug Pederson up to these days? Obviously, Philadelphia fired him. He's not coaching this year. We've seen coaches in the past go to various training camps, kind of soak up what other teams are doing as they try to work their way back into the game. And I think he's a guy who's going to want to be a coach next year. But, of course, everybody, is Dougie P joining the staff? I don't know. Maybe. I guess it's in that two smoking Jays realm. Who knows? It could happen. People are definitely talking. I don't know. Brad Biggs, the Chicago Tribune, threw this out there. Doug Pederson chatting it up with Nick Foles, who he helped lead to a Super Bowl in Philadelphia as the second team works today. He's a guest at Bears camp. So Brad Biggs saying he's a guest. Matt Nagy met with the media before practice today, so we haven't heard his comments after in terms of Peterson actually being out there. But you can see him right there in the flesh wearing Bears gear at practice today. So who knows? Chase Sr., my colleague here at Chat Sports, is that a Bears play sheet he's holding? He's infiltrating. He's on staff. I don't know, guys. There's all kinds of rumors circulating with this right now. Peterson certainly is a good offensive mind. If he's a consultant, it's certainly not necessarily a bad thing. I will say you don't want too many cooks in the kitchen, so keep that in mind. Here's what he did in Philadelphia as the Eagles head coach for 5 seasons. 7-9, and then obviously won that Super Bowl in his second year when he turned Nick Foles into a god for 6 weeks. And then in 2019 made the playoffs again. We don't talk about 2018. We call him Double P, Double Doink. And then in 2020, 4-11-1 before he got fired. A lot of drama between him and Carson Wentz as he and Philadelphia parted ways. But Doug Pederson hanging out at Bears training camp today. What could it mean? Maybe it's just Matt Nagy saying, hey, you're a buddy of mine. Why don't you come hang out at Bears camp? Or maybe it's more. Maybe he could be on the staff in some advisory role for this season as he tries to get back into the game in a bigger way this upcoming year. Do you want Doug Pederson on the Bears coaching staff? Type 1 for yes. Type 2 for no. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments section. Get your votes in right now. Do you want Dougie P in Chicago? Now, BetUS is sponsoring today's show, and hey, I hope you bet the under last night with the Cowboys and the Steelers. That was a brutal watch. If you want to bet on the Dolphins game, Bears preseason game against the Dolphins next Saturday, do it with BetUS. Make some money. Chatsports.com/Bears. Use our promo code BEARDOWN to get that 125% deposit bonus. Football is back. There is money to be made. You must use our link to get that 125% deposit bonus. Chatsports.com/Bears. Use promo code BEARDOWN when you sign up. And go bet on the Bears to beat the Dolphins next Saturday night. All right, let's keep it rolling here on Chicago Bears now. Larry Borom, the offensive line, just continues to get banged up. He is out with a concussion. We'll see how long this one lasts. This is a bummer for him because he had strung together a couple of good practices at left tackle with the first-team offense and was impressing the staff with Teven Jenkins and other guys out. He was getting opportunities, and now he's sidelined with a concussion. So obviously not great overall. Chicago is down 7 offensive linemen out of their 15 on the 90-man roster. Maybe Doug Pederson is at camp because Matt Nagy thinks he can play left tackle. All jokes aside, but hey, Could use a left tackle. Can you play Dougie P? I don't think so. I think he'd get run over by Khalil Mack pretty quickly at the end of the day. But lots of injuries to this Bears offensive line, so let's just run them off real quick. Teven Jenkins still has back stiffness. I wonder if there's something else going on there. James Daniels, he's dealing with the quad injury. Germain Ifedi is on the PUP list dealing with a hip flexor. Larry Borom has a concussion. Badara Traore is dealing with a knee issue. Lachavious Simmons, we don't know if it's a concussion, but he's got concussion-like symptoms, and he's being evaluated. He left the practice field today. And then Elijah Wilkinson is still on the COVID-19 reserve list. The Bears cannot catch a break on their offensive line, which is unfortunate with the preseason just around the corner. Here's what I have to say, though. Sign a tackle, Ryan Pace. You got guys dropping like flies. I'm not saying the free agent market is littered with elite options, but what I am saying is this is what we saw on the first-team offense today. Once Simmons left, Hambright at left tackle, Bars at right tackle, Dieter Iserlin was getting a lot of run at guard, Sam Mustipher and Cody Whitehair, your only two starters, still on your first-team offensive line right now. This ain't it. That's all I know. The good news is none of the injuries the Bears have at O-line sound super serious, but I mean, you're getting thin pretty quickly. You're down to 8 dudes right now. That is not an ideal situation for the Chicago Bears. Some of the free agents out there at tackle. Rick Wagner, Russell Okung, Jason Peters. They're not great options. I get that. Okung's had injuries. Peters is old as hell. Wagner's just okay. But I think they're better than Arlington Hambright at left tackle. I do believe that, so we will see if Ryan Pace scours the free agent market when it comes to offensive tackle. Should the Bears sign an O-lineman? Type Y for yes, type H for hell yes. I'm spamming H because no is not an option right now, in my opinion. So Y for yes, H for hell yes. If you're weird, type your in for no, but I think we all believe that the Bears need an offensive lineman. Now, speaking of a guy they did sign recently, Alec Ogletree. Wow, he's balling out early at camp. Had 3 picks today, has 4 interceptions in 2 practices so far. It's like the guy hasn't skipped a beat. I mean, based on the early results, you got to think this guy has a good chance of making this roster, right? I mean, sure, Roquan Smith and Danny Trevathan are going to be your 2 starters. I don't think we're disputing that, but Alec Ogletree, he looks rejuvenated. He looks like the guy from 2, 3, 4 years ago that was flying around, making plays in coverage, tackling dudes. Alec Ogletree, who only played in a couple of games last year, hasn't never really lived up to that first-round pick hype, but he did string together 4 really nice seasons from 2016 to 19. Averaged over 100 tackles, 5.5 tackles for loss, over 2 interceptions per season. Never much of a pass rusher, just 1 sack per year on average. But I like what I'm seeing from him so far. And Nick Foles is absolutely helping him feast as he continues to struggle. He's thrown a few of those picks to Alec Ogletree so far. He's not performing that well right now at camp. He can talk about how he wants to play, how he thinks he's a better quarterback than he's ever been, but when you're getting picked off by the third-string defense consistently, that is a major problem if you're Nick Foles, and honestly, it's not a great situation for the Bears who are trying to trade him but haven't been able to at this point. Who will be Foles' 2021 team? Type O for other, type B for the Bears. Let me know where he will play this upcoming season, and hey, hopefully he plays better soon because his trade value is not very good, maybe totally non-existent at this point in time.